The member for Ottawa, Vanier.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Mr. Speaker, it's been a year since the Freedom Convoy descended on Ottawa to protest, a protest that turned into an occupation that lasted 3 weeks. 3 long weeks during which the residents of Ottawa lost their right to live peacefully and without fear. Truly, it was nothing but a nightmare. People turned to their governments asking for help because clearly the local police was overwhelmed by the massive trucks and growing number of protesters, encouraged by the lack of law enforcement. The Rouleau Report, just released following the federal inquiry, clearly indicates that it didn't have to be this way. If the provincial government had put the same energy into coming to the rescue of the people in Ottawa as it did defending economic interests when the Ambassador Bridge was blocked, the peace could have been restored much sooner. How can the government justify its inaction, turning its back on the people of Ottawa? I'm asking about people that can't trust this government anymore, that they have their back.
And to respond, Government House Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As I mentioned earlier, the report highlights, of course, the incredible work that was being done by the Ontario Provincial Police in providing information to the Ottawa Police Service. But as I said, if there are lessons to be learned in how we coordinate with the Parliamentary Protective Service, the OPP, the RCMP, and Ottawa Police Services or other forces, and we will take a look at that, Mr. Speaker. But we are continuing to make enormous investments across this province because what we want to do coming out of COVID is build an economy, an Ontario economy, that is stronger than the one that went into it, Mr. Speaker. And we are hearing the results of all of this hard work. And that includes the people of Ottawa, Mr. Speaker. We are seeing thousands of jobs being created across the province of Ontario, whether it is in the automotive sector, which is being rejuvenated in this province in all parts. And to be clear, Mr. Speaker, when we succeed in the auto sector, it is good not only just for the GTA, it's good for all of Ontario, it's good for all of Canada. We have the backs of the people of this province because we are building a stronger, safer, more prosperous Ontario.
Supplementary question.
Thank you. The Commission has conducted an in-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, and provided lessons learned. This important analysis was possible because of the transparency of the Commission process and the numerous civil servants and political leaders that came forward and provided valuable testimonies. However, there was one political entity missing in action, and that was our provincial government. Our government was missing in action during the occupation, despite numerous calls from myself and several colleagues here on this side of the House. And our government remained missing in action during the inquiry, refusing to appear to provide useful evidence in order to avoid another disaster of the sort. Our government invoked parliamentary privilege to shield itself from transparency. But Ontarians and the people in Ottawa deserve a response. So why did the government refuse to participate in the inquiry?
Question.
How are the people supposed to trust a government that is hiding from its duty and responsibilities?
Government House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, there were significant representations from the province of Ontario, including, as I had mentioned before, Deputy Minister, the OPP Commissioner was there as well, Mr. Speaker. I remind the member as well that the province of Ontario, this legislature, of course, had a select committee which was reviewing the state of emergency here in the province of Ontario throughout the time that the convoy was in Ottawa, Mr. Speaker, and that also included members of the independent members. But we are looking forward, Mr. Speaker, we're looking forward to building a better economy. The world economy has suffered because of COVID, but we know that there are opportunities. That's why we're building not only just transit corridors, but we're building roads and highways across the province of Ontario because as the Minister of Economic Development brings more jobs and economic opportunity to Ontario, that means we've got to get our product to market faster. That's why we're building roads, Mr. Speaker. And all the people of the province of Ontario want to participate in a better, stronger, more prosperous Ontario, and we will continue to be focused on doing that as we move forward and beyond.
Thank you very much.